One of them, I'm in the dark.
Welcome, everyone. It's great to see you. We're just wrapping up, but almost here, almost ready to go. In the toggle city of the background of the studio, we may have accidentally turned off Tyler's camera. So we're just going to get Kyle here to sort us out there, but really looking forward to diving in with everybody today when it comes to our presentation on how to launch a community-based membership. I'm super excited about this topic because what we've seen since we rolled out our community feature back in August is that 97% of people who are launching a membership on membership.io do add a community element to it. So it is a really popular feature at our platform. And that's why we're super looking forward to helping you walk through the step-by-step process of setting up your own as well. How are we doing with the camera?
Hey, I'm here. Love it. Welcome, everyone. Thank you all for your patience. I was trying to keep you guys updated in the chat there. Yeah, there's just a little technical issue going on with the actual physical monitors in the studio here. They won't turn on, so it was a little difficult to be able to present something to you that we can't actually see.
And
You know,
yes, we did try to turn it off and on.
Yeah,
So
yeah, we
usually,
unplugged it, we plugged it back in, we turned it off and on, we did all of the expert level, top tier technical troubleshooting steps, and now we're just basically screen casting it from another place to our cameras in front of us. So we found a workaround and we are glad to have you here. Super excited. As Paulina mentioned, we're going to be talking all about community and what that means for you and for your memberships. And even if you haven't started a membership yet, you're kind of thinking of starting, we're going to be walking through the quickest and easiest way to launch, even if you feel like you don't have enough content or enough of a following, or maybe even enough expertise per se. There's still something that you can do, and we're going to walk you through it here. So let's jump over to the slides and we will get this started with a little bit of an overview. As you know, or maybe you haven't, if this is your first time tuning in for a Creator Hacks live call here, we typically like to do these about once a month and just cover some, key either features or functions or things like that to help you guys level up your memberships and or launch them if you're still sort of in the beginning phases. So my name is Tyler, and I'm joined by the lovely Paulina from the customer success side. And today we're going to be talking all about communities. So we're going to go through the 4 different types of memberships that there are and how to choose, the right one for you. We're going to be talking about the benefits of a community, and then we're going to jump right into it and show you exactly how to build your community and get things set up inside of your membership.io hub. Plus, we've got a very special free gift later on in the presentation. So you're going to want to stick around for that. So let's get right to it. The 4 most popular and profitable membership types we have the knowledge-based membership. So this is where you're delivering some sort of knowledge or information that you have expertise, and you're doing this on an ongoing basis. This could be something in the form of like course-like lessons or coaching sessions, but essentially you're just sharing your knowledge with your audience on a recurring basis, and people are paying you a monthly or quarterly or yearly fee for that. Next, we have the product base. So this is something that would be like you're delivering a physical product each month. So think of a subscription box is a great example of a product-based membership. Then we have a service-based membership. And this is where, again, you would pay a sort of monthly fee to get some sort of ongoing recurring service. So maybe it's you pay a certain monthly fee and you get a certain number of car washes every month or massages, for example. Or a perhaps more like relevant one is you pay a fee every month for your internet service. And that's, another example of a service-based membership or subscription plan. And lastly here, this is often overlooked, but it can be one of the quickest and easiest ways for you to launch. As I mentioned, even if you're not necessarily an expert in the topic, even if you don't have a ton of content yet or much of a following at all. The community membership is basically where somebody is paying just to have access to a space where they're able to interact with people around a specific topic. So you're creating a space for people to come and gather, and that can be people of all different levels of expertise. You can bring in topic experts and things like that into the community, and it's just creating that space to give a home to your people essentially. And that is really what we're going to be focusing on today, is the community-based membership, because as we mentioned, it is one of the quickest and easiest ways to get started. It also has a very big impact on your existing membership and the experience for your members inside of your business as well. So we are going to quickly touch on that. Paulina had already mentioned this stat earlier, but 97% of people who build a membership on membership.io have a community element. So we know that this is a very popular feature. However, with this, there is actually, a right way to sort of create this this community and a wrong way. The wrong way will often lead to overwhelm for both you and your members, burnout, and just overall lack of community engagement. Whereas the right way is more profitable, it is less stressful, and you're able to make more impact. Okay. And, it's not about perfection at this point, it's just about connection. Okay. That's one of the beauties of creating a community based membership. So, I just wanted to share a few quick sort of stats with you here that I found that sort of speak to the effectiveness of community and perhaps why you should care about it. So this says 76% of consumers say they're more likely to buy from a brand that fosters a strong online community. So people like to buy from something that they feel a part of, that they can identify with, that they can connect with on a deeper level. So if you have a strong online community and presence, people are more willing and likely to purchase from you. So that's a key stat there. Brands with active online communities also experience 53% higher customer retention rates on average. So that is pretty substantial, especially if you're looking at sort of the long-term health or longevity of your business. Typically, the higher retention rate you can maintain means you're able to basically compound your profits and continue to build your recurring revenue and have a much more predictable and stable income source. So that is fantastic. And this one is actually very unique. So this was done at the University of Michigan. They did a study, and it was kind of like a social experiment, but they actually found that customers were likely to spend 19% more after joining a company's specific online community versus, joining something on a third-party platform like Facebook. And there's lots of things that could contribute to that, like maybe it's distractions and other things going on those other platforms that kind of pull them away from the focus of your business and your brand. But this was just a really interesting finding, and it was from like a recent study as well. I believe it was 2024, but the reference is there as well if you want to dig into it. But very, very cool. And one of the reasons why we are going to be walking you through exactly how you can set up your community, as we mentioned, the right way inside of membership.io so that you have your own space that you control, that you own, and hopefully people are willing to spend that 19% more on your offering with something as simple as that. So let's talk about how do we put this into action, right? Because I know we can say the benefits of this and why you should care about it, but in reality, it's one of the things that you got to kind of just jump into and do, and then you can kind of see how impactful it is, and you can tweak things and refine them along the way. And so let's just jump right into how to set this up for you. So we'll kick it over to Paulina here, and she is going to walk you through how to do this inside of your membership.io hub. Paulina, over to you.
So I have a recording here that's going to walk us through essentially a community in action. So the one hub that I'm going to show you is actually one that anybody here can join. We do host our own community along with our video academy that has video tutorials and really helpful links when it comes to getting set up on membership.io inside of a hub. So what I'm about to show you is very similar to what we'll be helping you create today with a little bit of a different example. So let's take a look at some of the community elements kind of in action, and I'll be able to point out a couple new features that we're rolling out really, really soon as well. So all of your posts inside of a community are sorted under all posts, but you can also create other spaces, as we can see here, to help you sort the conversation. So designed to feel like a very familiar space where your members don't have to relearn how to do that specifically, can click around to other spaces just to kind of sort the conversation based on that topic as well. And any spaces that you want to, you can lock down as well. So you can see here at the top that, I don't have permission to post. And in spaces where we want to give members that option, I can make sure that we can. So we'll also show you how to set up a sidebar here where you can add some additional information like the community rules. This is a great space to be able to kind of set the stage for what your community is about. And there's a lot of different options like this sorting feature that allow your members to kind of make the most of the features that are inside of here as well. So as you can see here, there's also the option to kind of hover over specific members and send them a little message. So our direct messaging feature is rolling out really soon. And that gives you the ability to really connect with members kind of inside of the community as well. You also have the option to see everybody that's inside of that community and either search for people that are online and message them that way. So there's a lot of features that we're building off of that we already have, like the member directory. And what we're doing is we're combining a couple elements here to be able to essentially show you how to build a really rich community using the directory, using the direct messages, using the accessibility-based spaces. So let's dive into that. So in a recap, what we're going to cover today are these steps specifically. In 5 steps, taking around 15 minutes, we'll show you how to set up your discussions page. We'll show you how to edit your menu. So that's the bar at the top where you can link any additional content that you may be delivering inside of your membership community as well. We'll show you how to customize that hub's appearance just so that you can model it off of your branding. So this is where you can bring in things like a specific logo, specific colors. Next, we'll show you how to create your first post. So this is where our free gift comes in, because if you're not quite sure what to post specifically, we'll actually show you a couple different options that you can pull from to help you generate your first post. And then most importantly, we do all of this to invite your members. So we'll show you where you can copy the share link to invite members to your hub specifically. So with that, let's dive into our accounts to get started. My recommendation, if you haven't done this before, is simply watch the presentation today and head into our community after to catch our replay, and then do it with dual monitors if you have the option to do so, in order to help you build a community site kind of when you have the opportunity to pause the screen as well. So heading to app.membership.site will take you into your account, and this is where we can get started with our first step. So our first step here is to create a new community hub. This is the template that we recommend using if you're looking to just keep it simple and have a community hub there. You can also add a community element to any existing hub as well. So if you're here because you're looking to add a community element to a hub that you've already created, all you need to do is head to your pages menu and search for discussions and make sure that it's toggled on that way as well. So in this next clip, I'll walk you through where from inside of your hubs tab, you can go to create a new hub. So at the top here, if you want to create a new hub, you can select different templates or just use the community-based one that we have. On this page, you'll enter a name for your hub specifically. I'm doing one for tea. And then once you hit create, that will take you into your dashboard specifically. From here, what we're going to do is click customize, which is where we can get started with editing your hub. So on this next step from here, what we need to do is enter the hub editor to be able to modify your sideboard, which is where you can include things like rules. It's where you can create your spaces to help divide the conversation a little bit based on different topics that are going to be relevant for your community. And you can also customize a couple options like your banner background as well, which is actually a new feature that we rolled out in the last couple of weeks as well. So with that, let's head to kind of the next step here inside of the hub editor where we can make those changes. So from here, you're going to click on customize in your dashboard. This will load the hub editor, which is where we can make any changes. And we'll actually land on the discussions page already. So you can click on any gear icon next to any element here to make changes. Here I'll change kind of the personalized message at the top here so I can welcome people by their first name. Any of the existing sections you can leave as is, or you can also make slight tweaks or big changes as well as needed, whatever feels, most unique to your members and your community here as well. From here, you can also create other spaces. Any community that you create will come with a general space. We recommend creating an announcement space specifically. And you have the option here to lock down spaces like this so that only moderators and owners can specifically post in that. So that gives you the ability to post any announcements, but it means that your members won't be posting any of their own kind of personal life announcements as well. The last step here is under each specific space, you can also play with the different discussion banners to be able to either upload an image or select one of the default colors or also select a specific custom color like I'm doing here as well. So this gives you an opportunity to kind of put that design flair here to make sure that the space kind of matches the rest of the branding that you have inside of your hub as well. So in a couple easy steps, we've been able to kind of take the generic template and make a couple really simple tweaks that make for a really big impact in terms of making sure that our members feel welcome from the first impression that they have inside of the hub. Now that we've set this up, there's also an opportunity to edit your menu. So at the top here, we'll see in the next slide, each community hub will come with a discussions page and a member directory page. If you have something like Q&A replays that you want to make sure that your members have access to, what you can do is you can add that to the menu so that they see it anytime they're going through your hub specifically. So if you have any content, you can either add playlists, you can also create custom pages to hold any content. So if you have a full library, let's say, of different resources and different video trainings and a podcast, and you want to make sure that your members also have access to that, what you can do is you can set up a page and link a page in your menu as well. So I'll show you just really quickly how you can add something like a Q&A replays playlist to your menu at the top here. So I've added a really nice kind of background image here. And then this kind of menu at the top here is what we're going to be customizing. So you can just click the gear icon next to when you hover over that header specifically to be able to customize that. So from here, we're going to scroll all the way to the bottom of this header menu. You're going to click on header menu. And then you'll see the option to add menu items, which is where you can add either a playlist, a page, or a link. So in this example, I'll create one that's called Q&A replays. And when I go to select a playlist, I don't have one yet. So I can create one, which is where I can drop any future or existing Q&A replays. And once that playlist is created, what I want to do is I want to head back and make sure that I'm linking that specifically to this menu item. Now, I love the icons that we have in here. So I want to swap out kind of the default one that we have for something that's also kind of video related as well. And then once you're happy with that, you'll save your changes as well. So as you can see here, in a couple kind of easy clicks, we've been able to add any additional content that we have to make sure that our members essentially have a quick link into that content when they're consuming kind of content inside of your community as well. So now that we've customized your menu, we'll also want to take a look at kind of the default or global hub customization settings. This is where you can add things like your logo. It's where you can customize your fonts and your colors. So it kind of takes that customization to the next level, just to kind of put a ribbon on top for everything else. So there's a lot of customization options that we offer. For today, I'll just show you kind of how to do some of the basics, which includes colors, fonts, and a logo specifically. So from here, we'll take a look at how you can access the Appearance tab inside of your Hub Editor, and where you can add kind of custom colors, custom fonts, and all of that fun stuff. So inside of your Hub Editor, you're going to click on Appearance on the menu here. And you're going to select under the colors menu 2 specific colors that you'd like to use that makes sense for your brand specifically. I generally always recommend keeping black as a secondary color. Under typography, same thing, you can select 2 fonts, and you'll see that as I select a font, it automatically updates in my Hub Editor where I have a preview of my hub specifically. So you can scroll through or search for a specific font. I really like Josephine Sans, so I'm going to save that. And then under logos, same thing, you can upload a image to use as a logo that appears next to the menu. So you can see I've added a little Gaiwan that appears. And then you can also add a favicon, which basically appears next to that tab if you're sharing the link to your hub specifically. So as you can see, really quick, kind of simple steps, but it's automatically transformed the overall look of this hub and given us a nice kind of unique spin on the hub template. So from that, there's a couple kind of crucial posts left. So at this point, what you'll want to think about doing is creating your first post. We want your members to come in and see kind of the first post that will welcome them into the community and will hopefully give them a prompt in terms of what we want them to cover specifically. So what you can do is from inside of your Hub Editor, you can click Create a New Post, and we'll show you kind of an example of how you can set one up, along with some of the customization options that are available both for yourself as a Hub creator and also for any members that are coming in. So at this point, you can also add images, you can add any YouTube or membership.io video links, and you can also add any, I think, attachments as well. So a lot of different options depending on what specifically you're looking to share. I love photo-based prompts. I find, people get really excited about the opportunity to kind of look through their photo album and find, a photo of them doing something that they're passionate about. So that's kind of what I'll use for this next example here as well. So I'm going to use my remote control here to head to the next page. So create your new post. It's hard to miss. It's right in the middle. It's where you can add a title and a description and add some attachments. So I'm essentially creating a welcome post here. And I'm going to give my members a couple prompts in terms of questions that I want them to answer about themselves as well. So really generic ones are, what's your name? Where are you located? A fun fact about you. With the tea-based membership, I could ask something like, favorite type of tea and a photo of maybe your favorite kind of place to drink it. And then again, you'll see the menu at the bottom here where you can attach things such as links, videos, different attachments as well. Again, for any videos, you'll want to make sure it's a YouTube or membership.io link. I'm going to select a folder. You can't see this, but I'm going to select one from my computer. And then give it a second to load. Last step here, you can choose what space it goes under. It doesn't make sense to add it under announcements. So I'm going to make sure it's under general. And when I hit post, I'll be able to see that directly on my homepage. So again, doesn't take too long, but there's a lot of opportunities there where once that post is up, you can like it, you can engage with it, you can comment on it. So it kind of, sets a good first impression for your members specifically. Now, something that we often hear is that I don't know what content to create, or I don't know what to include into, my first post. So we've actually created a handy little resource. This is our little gift for everybody that actually has around 25 different prompts that you can use to help you generate posts for your community. So this is thinking beyond just your first specific welcome post in the community, but also helping you essentially generate a posting calendar for months or weeks to come specifically. So I highly recommend scanning this QR code with your handy dandy phone and checking out some of the AI prompts that we've listed on our help center. If you're looking at the replay, we'll also be sure to post kind of the link to that article down below in the description as well. So with that, our hub at this point is ready for us to invite members. So we need to take that crucial last step of actually inviting your first member. A really easy place to start is just with a free community. So any private hub that you have, you can set to essentially be private and to allow members to register. How you actually send access to your hub is by copying the share link for that specific hub. So in the next video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can find that share link that you can copy and paste to your clipboard, where you can share in things like a social media post, via email, anywhere essentially where you're communicating with your members. So it's just on the top right-hand side of your hub editor. So we'll take a look at where that is and how you can click it, specifically the link, to be able to copy it for yourself. So inside of your hub, once you're happy with how it looks, you'll find the share link just on the top right-hand side. If you click the little link, you'll get a check mark and a notification just at the bottom that that sign up link has been shared, and that's it. Once it's copied, you can kind of paste it in your own notes. You can share it with your members, but it gives you the ability to essentially share this lovely new community with your members. So with that, I promised you that we'd walk through that in around 15 minutes. I did not keep track of time, but it felt like probably around 15 minutes. So there's a lot of, maybe optional steps there that we skipped. But one thing we wanted to highlight is the best thing to do if you're launching a community is to keep it simple. Really, the main thing that drives a community page is those discussions. It is those posts from your members. So you want to spend your time, engaging with your members and kind of activating them in that site instead of, tinkering around with specifics. So we have a fast action checklist here to help you kind of make sure that you're making progress and hitting kind of the right steps here as well. So we recommend, taking a look at your sidebar and the spaces that you have in order to make sure that those make sense for your community. Once you've configured that, you want to make sure that you add your first post so that as members are coming in, they're seeing something like a welcome post to help drive them to that post and also, encourage them to introduce themselves as well. You'll want to make sure that you invite your first members, and you want to think beyond as well in terms of what else are you going to be posting? How are you going to make sure that there's always different prompts for your members to kind of come in and engage with as well? So today is what I would consider kind of level 1 of community building. But as you've probably gathered from this presentation, there is a lot of overlap between communities and memberships. And you could say we know a thing or two with Tyler about membership, but there's someone who knows even more. And if you're looking to take your community a step further, there's also an opportunity, if you're looking to kind of learn beyond, to join us with Stu McLaren for a really great free membership workshop as well. So I'll pass it back over to Tyler to kind of chat through this optional but super valuable opportunity to kind of dive deeper into all things membership as well.
Absolutely. So, as Paulina mentioned there, we do have a workshop. It's completely free, and it's coming up with our co-founder, Stu McLaren. He is, the membership genius. He's been doing this for 2 decades. He's worked with tens of thousands of membership owners, and this is a completely free workshop that allows you to exactly as it says here, turn your skills and know-how into a profitable membership. So it'll take you through, just having a general idea to walking you through all of these steps to actually take that idea, validate it, to see, what sort of business opportunity there is there, and then how to actually launch your membership and get your first paying member right within the free workshop. So super, super awesome. We do have the link at the bottom there, but even better, we set up another QR code. So if you want to join us for the free workshop, just scan the little code here, and we can post the link in the chat here as well. And yeah, you can register for that, save your seat. It's going to be an awesome workshop, and it's going to take you through, again, all those steps to go from idea to profitable membership and actually getting your first profitable or your first paying member rather. So that is pretty much everything for today. However, we do have a few minutes here for some questions, so we'll do our best to answer those for you. I do have a quick question for Paulina, though, as well. Touching back on the fast action checklist there, we mentioned setting up your sidebar and your spaces. What should people do for spaces? You recommend like having a bunch of like categories and stuff, like people can jump into like, this sort of like niche thing and have like a joke space and like memes and like all of that sort of thing. Like how many spaces should we start with? What should we focus on?
If you currently have a community on something like, Facebook, technically all of a Facebook it group is just one space. So we recommend you kind of sticking with what people are most used to, which is a light number of spaces. For the communities that we run, for the Mayo community, we have about 5. So we have what's happening, where we share kind of different events that are happening inside of the community. We have a feedback board. We have your questions, which is where people can kind of drop their questions. And then we also have product updates just to kind of separate it out from the events. So we run about 5, but that's also because we do have a software element of our business where we want to make sure that we're kind of, engaging on discussion that's particular to the software. But with Stu's membership, as an example, he has 2. Like he has, one kind of main room, kind of like a water cooler room for members to connect. Oops. And then he also has announcements where the team posts as well. So if you're asking for my opinion, Tyler, my recommendation would be keep it simple. Start with 2. Can always add more, but it's a lot easier. And this doesn't just go for community spaces, but also membership deliverables and all things membership. But it's a lot easier to add things than it is to remove things as well. So I find the less spaces that you have, the less distractions that your members have, and the more likely they are to post, as opposed to trying to figure out what the right space is to kind of post a question is in as well. Does that make
Love it.
sense?
Yes, yes. So I think the general message there is to just keep it simple. Don't get too caught up in things. Just follow what we walk through here today, get things set up, get it started, and start inviting some members and creating that engaged community. Again, if you guys are, unsure of what to post or, how to kick things off, be sure to grab the free resource that is also linked in the chat, and you'll have a ton of prompts to help you with crafting your welcome message to invite people in and sort of break the ice with them, and then generating tons and tons of content ideas to keep your members engaged, different post types, all that sort of fun stuff to keep your community buzzing instead of just crickets. So let's pull up a few questions here. I know there is a couple questions in the chat as we are going through here. We do have one here from, I believe it's Fret 11. Is there an option to allow free users to join the community without seeing other elements in the hub? That would be for paid users. Paulina, did you want to touch on that one?
Yeah, so I think the question that we're kind of asking about here, and I think Joy asked a similar question as well, just in terms of like setting up who's allowed to access it. What you're looking for is segmented spaces or secret spaces. It's something that we are kind of rolling out in a beta program right now. So it should be available very soon. As of today, April 23rd. It's not possible just yet, but it is something that will be possible very, very soon, likely in the coming weeks as well. So if you do want to kind of segment free and paid, do you have the option to do so? In my experience, most free and paid communities are separate. You may have multiple tiers of a paid program. Let's say you have, 3 tiers of a membership. What you can do is kind of segment that. But our general recommendation is to separate free communities and paid communities and do any segmenting just inside of your paid community specifically.
Perfect. Love that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And like Paulina said, yeah, I think for the time being, obviously the only really way to do it right now is to have the 2 separate spaces. But then even just for overall organization and simplicity, it might be easier for you in the long term anyway to just have, the separate spaces for those. We did have a question here as well from Forward Thinking Chiropractic Alliance. Community pages must be private. Yes. Yes.
Yes. So a large element of the communities include the member cards and things like direct messaging. So members will need to have essentially a login in order to be able to access it, and also to give you some safety as well in case you do need to kind of lock people out of your community as well. What I can say though is, as we mentioned in the previous question, you can have technically a free community. It would be private in the sense that people still need to sign in with a, email and password in order to access it, but you can, make sure that there isn't a payment option there. So they can sign up for free in a similar way as to, if you have a kind of discoverable Facebook group, anyone can request to join it as well.
Yeah, perfect. Which again, like Paulina pointed out, like I think you want that level of security and protection anyway. If you're trying to create a space for your community, you don't want all kinds of trolls and bots and things like that just spamming in there willy nilly. So, yes, you can have the free discussion page. They just need to sign up for free. Okay, so we have is the welcome post pinned to the top of the discussion. You can pin posts to the top of the discussion. So yeah, if you want to have the welcome message posted right at the top of your discussion page, you can absolutely do that. I believe you can pin what is it, 3 or 5? You can pin as many as you want. There you go. There you go. You can pin as many posts as you want. Obviously, you don't want to pin everything, otherwise it loses the effectiveness of it being a pinned, important post. But the welcome one would definitely be a good one for people that are first landing there. We have another one here from Joy. So how do we set who's allowed? We just talked about this. So that will be coming soon, the segmenting. It's never too late. Let's see. What's the best way to get members to switch over from Facebook and use the community hub? I find that people are resistant when they're used to and like Facebook. So one of the things Facebook actually just rolled out is they're no longer going to be basically storing or hosting your live streams and stuff like that inside of your Facebook groups. So if you're someone who does live streams or webinars or things like that on Facebook Live, those things, they're only going to be keeping, I believe it's like up to 30 days. And then anything beyond that is just going to be like deleted and lost forever. So that is a big motivator to switch off of that. But again, as we talked about, like at the beginning of this, people are actually more likely to, one, more likely to actually purchase from your company if you have that online community presence. But two, they're actually likely to spend more if they've joined your specific community space versus something like Facebook. Again, that could be due to distractions and things like that on Facebook, and not being as focused on the community or what the business is about. But it does point out the fact that, like, if people are switching over and they're joining your separate community, then they're more committed than the typical person on that just kind of joined a Facebook group and then you never really hear from them again. So there might be a little bit of hesitation for people to sort of shift over because it's something that's not as familiar with them. But again, it is set up to be a very similar experience. You're going to have all of the functionality that you would have inside of a Facebook group, essentially. But you're actually going to have control of it. You're not going to have 8,000 ads on the side of your group distracting people, and notifications about different things and pictures of puppies and kittens to try to compete with. You're just going to have your own community of your people and be able to share with them. So I would just try to make it something that's exciting, that maybe you offer some sort of like incentive or bonus training or something like that, but maybe you incentivize your audience. If you have people on Facebook and they're a little hesitant to try out getting on your platform, I mean, if they're already in your membership or part of your membership, they shouldn't be that hesitant because it's all part of the same sort of platform. If you're hosting your community and your membership hub inside of membership.io. But yeah, I would just make it fun, make it something that they look forward to and they want to check out. And hopefully that answers your question or helps you with that. Okay. All right. Moving on. We have Alan. Okay. If a retiring crime scene investigator wanted to share their life to make a profit, do you think this would work as a membership? Again, that's if you're wanting to validate your idea of the membership, I would say jump on that free workshop coming up May 8th. That is going to be the first thing about that workshop is just, validating your membership there. We have, I think, just one other here. Let's see.
I can grab the last one.
Yep.
Okay, so I think we missed a question earlier from Proctor Talent Services about how to link a community hub to an existing one. So I think we'll cover that question and
Yep.
then
Sure.
we're going to wrap up for today. This is a great question because it could be that you've already created an existing hub and you're looking to add a community element as part of that existing product. The good news is you can add a community element to any private hub inside of membership.io. All you need to do is open up the pages menu on the left-hand side. You'll see the discussions page there. And it's just a matter of making sure that it's enabled for your members to see. What's really nice about this is that until you actually add that link somewhere, your members won't be able to see the discussions page just yet. So that gives you some time to essentially work through customizing the sidebar, the spaces, the banner background to make sure that you're happy with that community before you invite members to it as well. But again, you can add a discussions page to any private page just through the pages menu specifically. And I think that's it for today. We have some extra questions, but I know that they're going to be covered in the resources that we have available in the Help Center as well. But if there's any question of yours that we weren't able to get to, feel free to reach us at help@membership.io. And we're more than happy to walk you kind of through those instructions as well. But yeah, this has been super fun. And I'll pass it back over to you, Tyler, to wrap us up.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for joining. This has been great. Again, appreciate you guys for sticking with us with the slight technical difficulties at the beginning here, but always a great time here. Thank you again to Paulina. It was a great walkthrough of how to set up those community spaces and the discussion page for your hub and for your membership. We will be back again next month with a new topic, a new creator hack. If you guys have any, suggestions or feedback or things that you want to see, we will put out a social post on Instagram and in the Facebook group and stuff like that, and in the membership.io community. So be sure to, let us know there, and we will be back very soon with another creator hack. Thank you guys all for tuning in, and wish you the very best. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. All right. See you later.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.